Since its first discovery in 1956, artificial intelligence has advanced significantly. AI has given rise to computers and robotics, which have made life simpler for people everywhere. How many businesses, academic institutions, and renowned organizations are promoting artificial intelligence? A unique idea that might change the path of human history has been created to find better and less expensive ways to achieve these revolutionary discoveries: a computer constructed of human brain cells. Although this seems like something out of a science fiction film, it's highly accurate. But what is the potential of this controversial computer? And what does this revolutionary finding imply for humanity? A development team in Australia has created the first computer made of human brain cells after decades of research. Because of how quickly it is learning, this computer easily beats conventional AI. This recent finding is now the most talked about issue in artificial intelligence and might provide the answers to many problems that innovators worldwide commonly have. Although artificial intelligence has recently gained popularity, it's crucial to remember that it has been around for a very long time. Alan Turing and Isaac Asimov were pioneers in exploring the idea of artificial intelligence. The Turing test was created in 1950 by Alan Turing, a prominent mathematician, computer scientist, and theoretical biologist, to determine if a machine can ever think similarly to a person. With the help of this test, we learned that if certain conditions are satisfied, a computer can mimic human responses. Asimov outlined 3 robotics laws in the same year. First, a robot is forbidden from damaging people or allowing people to inflict harm on it. In contrast, in the second, a robot is required to follow all human instructions unless they directly violate the first. The third law asserts that as long as the robot's defense does not conflict with the first or second laws, it must defend its survival. These rules have been employed in creating artificial intelligence for several decades. This computer with a human brain is one of the several self-learning programs developed using these principles and tests. Now, various robots have been developed that carry out incredible tasks. For instance, a machine that could comprehend a natural language was created in 1965. Yet scientists have needed help building machines that can rival the human brain. Millions of neurons make up the human brain, and they all collaborate to carry out a wide range of astonishing functions. World-famous inventors have attempted to mimic the neuron system of the human brain for decades without success. The development in neuromorphic computing represents the closest humans have come to this replication. Neuromorphic computing communicates information by sending small voltage spikes through a deep neural network structure, similar to how the brain does. Despite their best efforts, these innovators have yet to get this network to communicate information as quickly as the human brain. That is, until this recent discovery. The human brain contains billions of neurons, whereas the most advanced computers have only a few hundred deep neural networks. Australian researchers decided to bypass the slow advancements in this neuromorphic computing technology, and instead, plug in a biological network. By now, you might think this is something out of a sci-fi movie. It's insane, but it worked brilliantly. The University of Melbourne scientists used a wire and a blood vessel to connect a Windows 10 computer to a human brain. They threaded the wire through the blood vessel, and the subsequent testing of this experiment was successful. The researchers threaded the wire through the jugular veins in the neck and up the brain's primary motor cortex. The participants were 2 people with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. They detected brain signals which were then fed into the computer. This connection is no small feat. Thousands of scientists have tried and failed, but this team isn't the only one that has made groundbreaking discoveries about this subject. Brown University's scientists in Rhode Island established a 2-way connection between a human brain and a computer. This link can transmit signals with single neuron resolution and full broadband fidelity. And this time, the subjects were 2 people with severe paralysis, ages 35 and 63. These people couldn't move their limbs or even move their heads. They could navigate through a tablet with a wireless transmitter using BrainGate's new wireless BCI system developed by these scientists. In a press release, Lee Hochberg, the leader of BrainGate clinical trial, said that we want to understand how neural signals evolve with the system, and we're able to look at brain activity at home over long periods in a way that was nearly impossible before. Unlike the previous scientists, the University of Melbourne could pull off this incredible feat without using any wires. Instead, they use a small transmitter. They drape a small transmitter over the subjects' heads. This transmitter immediately sends signals and communicates with an electrode array in brain's motor cortex. According to the study's lead author, John Simmerall, in a press release, the signals are recorded and transmitted with appropriately similar fidelity, which means we can use the same decoding equipment we use with wired equipment. We've demonstrated that this wireless system is functionally equivalent to the wired systems that have been the gold standard in BCI performance for years, the lead author continued. Further advancements in this concept would be highly beneficial to the human race. It would allow for significant progress and breakthroughs in the medical field. This new concept will enable people with various neurological conditions to keep control of their phones and devices. It makes no difference how paralyzed a patient is. Even Elon Musk has made significant contributions to integrating computers and human brains. The Neuralink chip, which connects brains to computers, was developed in 2016. The Neuralink Corporation scientists connected the monkey's brain to a computer, allowing the primate to interact with the games. During this experiment, the monkey's brain signals were recorded and transmitted on a computer. They implanted him to see if he could play Pong with just his mind. This was made possible, according to Musk, by implanting the Neuralink chip into the monkey's brain. Several steps are being taken to replicate this procedure on human subjects. Our mission is to build a safe and effective clinical BMI brain-machine interface system that is wireless and fully implantable, researchers wrote in a blog post about the experiment. Our first goal is to give people with paralysis their digital freedom back to communicate more easily via text, follow their curiosity on the web, express their creativity through photography and art, and play video games. They were aware that to be replicated in humans, this procedure might need to be improved. We calibrated the decoder with the monkey by relating patterns of neural activity to actual joystick movements. For those who have paralysis, we won't be able to employ this tactic. The CEO of Tesla also spoke briefly about his most recent creation. He tweeted that the first Neuralink product will enable someone with paralysis to use a smartphone with their mind faster than someone using thumbs, and that later versions will be able to shunt signals from Neuralinks in the brain to Neuralinks in body motor sensory neuron clusters, thus enabling, for example, people with paraplegia to walk again. When there is no physical movement, this new connection will enable communication to resume. But one thing is sure, over many decades, this technology has outperformed all previous improvements and innovations in the field of artificial intelligence. Some comments about this experiment were criticisms, while others were only positive remarks. The professor of neural interfaces at Newcastle University, Andrew Jackson, said, "Brain control of computer cursors by monkeys is not exactly new. This demonstration extends a line of work that dates back at least to pioneering studies in the early 2000s. The control in the video looks impressive, but without seeing a proper publication on our data, it is hard to say how it compares to the current state of the art." Despite this criticism, he had some positive words to say about the experiment. Although this experiment was new under the sun, it had never been done in the absence of cables. Thus, the absence of cables made this experiment unique and innovative. This, to me, is the advance here and is important both for improving the safety of human applications. Wires through the skin are a potential route for infection and also a way of improving the welfare of animals used in neuroscience studies. And the Neuralink team has definitely made significant progress in this regard, as Jackson said. However, this innovation has certain downsides just like any other. In Musk's Neuralink chip experiment, all of the monkeys who took part in it passed away a while after the trial. Musk, meanwhile, has refuted every allegation of animal abuse. Pluripotent stem cells have been developed to address this issue and ensure that it doesn't occur again. You may get these stem cells from either animal or human embryos. These cells are employed in place of genuine live creatures to avoid harm. If done correctly, stem cells can be transformed into a vast network of linked neurons. It will be positioned on the multi-electrode array, and electrical stimulation will be used to grow it. To protect all living things, every lab working on this issue has adopted pluripotent stem cells. This dish brain will be connected to a computer network once these cells have been cultured for a period, followed by a series of tests. There must be a different output and various input possibilities for these tests to take place. According to research conducted by Australian scientists, the organic computer brain was able to learn far more quickly than AI while competing against it. Even though AI ultimately prevailed, this experiment has shown incredible promise and inspired additional scientists to get involved. Interestingly, these developments have lessened the seemingly impossibility of science fiction. Hopefully, this discovery will go further and turn into a practical medicinal tool. Some individuals have worried that if trials continue, these little brains may continue to learn and eventually become sentient. This makes it a crucially ethical experiment that will be a hot subject for a very long time, as you could anticipate. That is our video for today. We hope you like it. What do you think of this innovation? Share all of your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Well, that's all for now. This is Big Tech Media. See you again tomorrow. Keep in mind to like, share, and subscribe.